This is where a lot of people overcomplicate it. The job of a hook is not to win the whole video, it's just to win the first few seconds. I'm Clint, and this is Creativity That Converts, the show where we unpack the art and strategy of using video to grow your business. This is the space to learn what's working, what's changing, and how to create content that really connects. No fluff, no ego, just real talk that gets results. Welcome to Creativity That Converts. One of the biggest reasons good videos get ignored has nothing to do with quality of the advice. It's all in the opening. Because if the first few seconds don't make the right person feel like this video is for them, they're gone before the value ever arrives. And this is where a lot of agents get frustrated because they know exactly what they want to say. They can have a genuinely helpful point. They can even film a really solid video. But if the opening doesn't land, the rest of the message often never gets a chance. So today, I want to talk about the first 10 seconds, what to say and why it matters, and how to think about it in a way that actually helps your videos work better. Because hooks are one of the most requested tactical topics for a reason. They matter, but they're also widely misunderstood. The first 10 seconds aren't about being clever. The first thing to understand is this: a hook is not about trying to be clever. It's not about trying to trick someone into watching. It's definitely not about becoming one of those people online who sounds like they're trying way too hard to stop the scroll. The role of the first few seconds is much simpler than that. It's to help the right person realize this is for me. That's it. That's the job. Because people make very quick decisions when they're watching content. They decide, is this relevant? Does this feel useful? Do I care enough to keep going? And if the opening doesn't answer that fast enough, they just move on. That doesn't mean your video is bad. It just means the right person never got far enough to realize that it was valuable. And that's why the opening matters so much. A good hook doesn't bait attention, it earns attention by being immediately relevant. And a lot of real estate videos lose people early for one simple reason. It just took too long to get to the point. They open with things like, hey guys, I'm just jumping on here today because I've been thinking about, or I thought I'd do a quick video about. And the problem with these kind of openings isn't that they're awkward. It's that they don't tell the viewer why they should care. They don't create relevance for the viewer. They don't create connection to the viewer. And they don't help the viewer understand whether the video is actually for them. So the video starts, but it never really gets going. And that's where attention gets lost. Because attention doesn't disappear because people are broken. It disappears because the video just hasn't earned their attention. So what a good hook actually does is it creates a strong opening that usually is through one of few simple things. It either names the problem, identifies the person, or creates curiosity around a decision. That's it. So for example, if you're talking to sellers, a strong opening might be, if your home's been sitting on the market, immediately the right person knows that this is for them. If you're talking to relocation buyers, you might say, if you're thinking about moving to, again, relevance is instant. Or if you're talking about strategy, you might say, one of the biggest mistakes sellers make right now in the current market is, see how that creates curiosity around a decision? And the key thing to notice is this: none of those openings are trying to be dramatic. They're simply trying to be clear. And clarity is what gets the right person to stay. And honestly, this is where a lot of people overcomplicate it. The job of a hook is not to win the whole video. It's just to win the first few seconds. You're not trying to say everything at once. You're simply trying to get the right person to keep listening long enough for the message to unfold. And this is especially important in real estate because most of the videos you should be making aren't entertainment. They're explanation, they're clarity, they're reassurance. They're helping someone understand a market, a decision, a process, or even a problem. So the opening doesn't need to feel like a stunt. It just needs to create enough relevance that the viewer stays for the explanation. One of the other mistakes I see people make is trying to use the same style of opening for every kind of video. Different videos need different types of hooks. For example, if you're filming a local area video, your opening might be, if you're thinking about moving to, here are a few things that you should know first. That works because it's specific and it's useful to the viewer. If you're filming a seller-focused video, you might look at something like, Before you list your home, there's only one thing you need to know to get it right. That works because it speaks to a decision. If you're filming something around pricing, you could possibly say, here's why some homes are selling quickly, and here's why some are just stuck. Again, very clear, very relevant. And importantly, it creates just enough tension to make someone want the explanation. That's what a good opening does. It makes the next sentence feel like they need to hear it. The best hooks usually sound natural though. They sound like something a real person would naturally say if they were trying to help someone understand something quickly. That's the sweet spot, because if your opening sounds too forced, too polished, or too content creator-ish, people can feel that. And once they feel that, the trust drops. So the best hooks usually sit in that middle ground where they are clear, specific, and conversational. They don't sound robotic. They don't sound clickbaity. They just get to the point faster. And that's what keeps people around. If you're ever stuck on how to start a video, there are really only a few questions you need to ask yourself. Who is this video for? What are they likely worried about? And what would I say in the first sentence if they were sitting across from me right now? That's often the easiest way to find your hook. Not by trying to invent something clever, but by asking, how would I naturally open this conversation if the person was right here in front of me? That's where the strongest openings usually come from. And once you get better at that, video becomes much easier, because now you're not just filming random ideas, you're opening clear conversations. And that changes everything about video. And the reason that it matters so much isn't just because it helps with views. It matters because the first few seconds determine whether your message gets a chance to do its job. And if your content is built to educate, build trust, create familiarity, and help people move towards a decision, then that opening matters a lot, because it's the doorway into all of that. And once you start treating those first 10 seconds with more intention, you'll often find the rest of the videos just get better too. Because when you know how you're opening, the whole explanation usually becomes clearer. And that's what strong content really is about. Not louder, not more dramatic, just clearer. So if you're unsure where video could support your marketing, or you'd like help working out what kind of content would actually connect with the audience that you want to work with, feel free to book a strategy call. I'd love to chat with you. We can talk through your market, your messaging, and how video could help you get seen by the people you actually want to work with. All the details are in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.